Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're talking about adding elegance with men's accessories. So I received a lovely email from John Parnell, who I have regular correspondence with, who's one of our subscribers, and he raised the issue about cufflinks and other accessories that might enhance someone's look, and he mentioned about his own collection, and he sent these images of his collection. So there are some antique cufflinks and he's very proud of those, but particularly he mentioned about enamels, which are very good for adding a pop of colour, and they're inexpensive really. When you look on eBay, they are a reasonable price and they are very affordable, and they do add that degree of more detail, especially when it comes to wearing a double cuff shirt similar to this one, as you can see here, and it does add that level of elegance and more formality in a way, depending on the type of cufflink you're going to wear. But something else to consider is if you're buying a shirt that is not made to measure and not made to your measurements, and you're buying just off the shelf, then maybe the sleeves might be a little bit long to get that essential break level that we often refer to. Now if that's the case, then you might use something like this, which is an old-fashioned shirt garter, which goes around just above the elbow joint and just under the bicep, and the idea is that you can adjust your sleeve length and pull it up through the shirt garter to get that drop just right, and it works every single time. And John's afforded a picture of that, of his, along with some shirt stays. Now when it comes to shirt stays, some collars have them, some already have them built in as part of the process, but you can also buy them separately. So these are Charles Thwaite ones. These come with his shirts and different lengths as well, and you can buy them separately, and you can buy them on eBay. These are stainless steel ones, but you could also buy silver, gold ones as well, and they are a hidden accessory, if you like, because their function is to purely keep the collar looking sharp and pristine and keep it in a straight line. So there's another option for you to consider when you're buying your shirt. Do you buy one with stays already in it, or do you buy one where you have to remove the stays before you wash it? But either way, you really need stays in a shirt to give it that rigidity in the collar, especially if you're looking for a formal look. More informal shirts don't have the stays in them because they are more casual types of wear. Something else that John offered us was an image here of shirt studs and cufflinks that go with a dinner suit. So you might find yourself wearing a dinner suit, black tie, a black dinner suit, then you'd normally get with that 4 shirt studs which cover the areas below where a bow tie would go, and that offers a level of elegance and detail. And also, depending if you're wearing a waistcoat with that or if you're wearing a cummerbund, then obviously that's the only reason why you need 4 of those shirt studs. But when it comes to the cufflinks as well, typically with a dinner suit, you'll wear a French cuffed shirt or a double cuffed shirt, and that affords the need to wear cufflinks. And in this case, with John's image, you can see clearly they are all matching. John writes a lovely piece in his email to me about his grandmother on his mother's side who managed to find a pair of mother of pearl cufflinks in the laundry at the time. And we're talking about large laundry facilities. Now, those got passed through the line and they ended up in John's possession. They're a little bit need of a bit of TLC, so he got them refurbished back in 1997, and they are in pristine condition yet again. He also mentioned about cufflinks from his grandfather that were passed down the line to him, and all in all, a lovely story about the cufflinks and the associated items as well, which also mentioned about pocket squares. And I get that they are an accessory at the end of the day to complement the tie and the rest of the outfit. But I'm not really going to cover pocket squares today. I think most people get an understanding of that, and I can put a link up for you to look at a video about pocket squares and how to use them to great effect. But his email brought me to consider my own collection and afford a little bit of information or guidance to yourselves about the use of watches, cufflinks and other accessories to add that little bit of elegance to for a typical suit wearer or somebody that wears a tweed or something along those lines. So when it comes to cufflinks, they are so varied, it's unbelievable. My favourite, I had a pair of Edwardian oval rose gold cufflinks that were actually on a chain between the two items. I don't have them anymore, unfortunately. I sold them on many years ago. But the range of materials used in cufflinks depends on how much you have in your purse. For example, they could be made of gold, solid gold, they could be plated gold, they could be silver, platinum, and there are other materials that can be used like nickel and other lighter alloys as well. But they come in so many different variations, it's unbelievable. So you can have, for example, knotted. So these go through the shirt and you end up with a little ball of colour, if you like, just to add that little bit of colour and personality to where you'd normally wear a cufflink. They also come with different closures as well. So for example, you could have, as I explained, the chain connection between the actual cufflinks, or you could have what's called a T-bar, which is, for example, here, it is a T-bar. Very easy to put through and to then close on the other side. And depending on the materials used, so this is 18 karat gold plated, and it's probably from about the 50s or 60s, and you can see it's engraved or etched, and quite a nice cufflink to wear on a typical day. But what I would suggest is that you can also get some with a little bit of detail or difference. And here we have another one. This time it's on a blade, so you have a blade that twists to give you the T-bar. Another type here is the fixed bar or fixed T-bar, and this one here has behind it a metal bar with a fixed T on it. Now these are a little bit more awkward. You have to twist them a little bit before you get them through the buttonholes on the cuff, but very effective. And this is an enamel one, so you get a variation in colours, and with enamels they give some really vibrant colours, and they're very hard wearing to great effect. Something else you consider is, for example, the different shapes. So this one is an oval one, and again this is on a T-bar, and these are enamelled and then coated with a plastic just to give them more resilience, so they last longer, they don't chip as easily. Here's another one that I regularly use. Also metal ones as well. They're easily available, and in some cases if you order a shirt you might get a set of cufflinks with them. And here's an array or an assortment of different ones. They're material covered cufflinks, but they're very effective for giving that little pop of colour. Here we have a gold one which is engraved. And here's one that goes back to the, I'd say the early 70s. It's quite garish in its design, but some people like them, some don't. But coming back to John's point, which was about using enamels, the reason why he suggested enamels being used is because they're much cheaper than gold ones at the moment that are on the market. And to be fair, if you want to spend £1,000, £2,000, yes, you can buy a lovely pair of cufflinks for that, but it's whether you can afford that. And if we're looking at day-to-day wear, using cufflinks rather than special occasions, then maybe you want something a little bit cheaper. Cufflinks can be lost as well, so it would be a shame to lose something that's worth £2,000 or £3,000 for something where you didn't really need to wear that sort of level of expense. But what I would say with the cufflinks is, depending if you're going for gold or silver or chrome based or rose gold, then I always try and match my watch with the type of colour that I'm using in the cufflinks. So in this case I'm using a silver chromed based watch to go with the cufflink, which is platinum with a gold diamond stud. And that brings me on to Elegance. When we're using a wristwatch for very formal occasions, I believe that the level of elegance is by its simplicity. So for example, if you're going to wear a watch, then it might be something like this, which is complementary to black tie, black as in very formal, and it's a tank watch, so it's not a massive faced watch. Silver, plain oyster faced watch is ideal, and if you're going to wear gold, then yeah, again, pearl faced watch or an off-white coloured watch, and a very simple small face, not a large one, and that really does heighten the look. And talking about heightening the look, when it comes to lapel badges, They are a great accessory, but they can be overdone. So I would suggest try and limit yourself to just one, and if you're wearing a pocket square, even consider not wearing one at all. But if you do, I suggest keep it small and significant to you. So, for example, it is a little badge, if you like, of your representation or who you represent, or it could be who you align your allegiance to. For example, it could be a veteran's badge, it could be an association, Royal British Legion for example, or it could be something to do with Prince of Wales, or it could be something to do with a particular sport or activity that you're into, for example hunting, fishing, shooting, that sort of thing. It could be as simple as your loyalty as in the country that you come from, or your heritage that might inspire you to wear a particular design. But I would be careful only to limit that to one item. If you start putting too many on there, it ends up being too cluttered and it takes it totally away from the level of elegance that we're looking for, and it just bring it down to everyday wear. So when it comes to that level of elegance, you might also want to employ, for example, a tie clip. So a tie clip, there are different versions. Some have a spring at the back to hold it in place, but a tie clip essentially is designed not to be seen. It's actually in about the fourth or fifth one down on the button line, and it's clipped into the tie to keep the tie in a nice position but not shown through the jacket or the waistcoat. If you want something that looks more up here, and this is where tie pins come in, and I think some people call them stick pins in America, but they are tie pins, and they generally have a jewel or a gold piece on the end. They are designed to go through the tie, and they generally go between the second and third button down, so around this area here, and they hold the tie in place. I know that in the 1920s, 30s, there was a big change in the way people wear their tie pins, and you start seeing them up here because they had an aesthetic, and they were used to demonstrate how rich you were because they were made of gold, silver at the time. So it was a way of showing your affluence, if you like. But if we're looking at elegance and we're looking at the higher level of elegance, then there's no requirement to wear that. So just a short video, and I have only covered a few items there, but totally agree with John in that if you want a good deal, you can pick up cufflinks online, even in charity shops, for a matter of a couple of pounds. And ironically, they can be gold as well, or gold plated. They can be really well done enamels, and enamels do give a lovely way of adding some colour and to the actual cuff itself. So it's something to seriously consider. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We love constructive comments, so if you'd like to make them, jot them down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. I'm interested particularly to hear about your ideas about the type of cufflinks and accessories, for example watches, that you employ when you're trying to look your most elegant. I haven't covered pocket watches here, but pocket watches are another thing to add to a waistcoat, and obviously with that you forego the need for a watch on your wrist. We also have Buy Me a Coffee page if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel, and I'll put a link down below so you can make your contribution to the channel. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care.